Level 1. The curious child. You feel the constant dampness against your skin. Each cold morning, a small fire crackles in the woods, the smoke a thin gray line. The neighborhood dogs whimper sometimes, a quiet sound in the night. Your father's anger is a familiar presence, a heavy sound always near. You collect small creatures, observing their movements, their final still moments. The world around you feels distant, a blurred landscape you cannot touch. Other children play, their laughter a strange, unsettling noise you ignore. A fascination with endings grows, a cold curiosity, a persistent internal hum. You notice the empty spaces in people's eyes, a hollow void staring back. The weight of small stones feels good in your hand, smooth and cold. A silent understanding emerges, a clear path forming deep within your mind. The rules are arbitrary, a weak structure easily bent, easily broken by you. You observe the river's slow current, carrying things away, leaving no trace behind. This quiet town holds secrets, a hidden landscape only you truly see now. A different kind of power begins to stir, waiting for its proper time to rise. Level 2. The isolated teenager. The military uniform chafes your skin, a rough fabric against your quiet unease. You watch the other soldiers there. Camaraderie, a foreign concept to your thoughts. A sense of detachment shields you, observing without true participation or feeling. The distant rumble of explosions becomes a dull background hum, a constant sound. You feel the sand beneath your boots, gritty and warm, a solid grounding point. Relationships remain superficial, a thin veneer over a deeper, colder interior world. The control over small tools feels significant, a tangible power in your grasp. Your internal landscape is complex, filled with unshared calculations, precise mental maps. The casual cruelty of others goes unnoticed, simply a natural extension of behavior. You learn the routine of tasks, performing them mechanically without emotional investment. The feeling of being overlooked provides a certain freedom, an invisible operational space. A quiet resentment against social norms builds slowly, a steady internal pressure. You experiment with boundaries, testing limits, observing the subtle reactions of people. The anonymity of crowds offers comfort, a blending into the general human noise. This world requires careful navigation, and your understanding grows with each observed flaw. Level 3. The student of death. You drive the truck, the engine's vibration a steady pulse beneath your hand. The roads unfold, mile after mile, a linear progression, a predictable pattern. You read technical manuals, absorbing information, dissecting systems, understanding mechanisms. The concept of decay becomes an area of study, a process to be observed, managed. Your thoughts drift to methods of concealment, efficiency, the absence of lingering evidence. The boundary between conceptual and actual actions blurs, a shifting, permeable line. You analyze crime reports, studying errors, identifying weak points, refining your own ideas. The urge to exert ultimate control grows, a primal instinct demanding direct expression. You feel the smooth plastic of a doll, imagining resistance, simulating scenarios mentally. The details of disposal become paramount, temperature, water currents, the Earth's natural processes. Your mind is a laboratory, testing variables, calculating outcomes, eliminating potential risks. The fantasies become more vivid, more structured, less abstract, gaining precise physical form. You understand human vulnerability, the fragile nature of their existence, their fleeting presence. A cold logic guides your preparations, each step a calculated move, precise and deliberate. The line between fantasy and reality is dissolving. You are not asking if, you are asking when. Level 4. The stalker. You observe the specific women from your truck, their movements, their predictable routes. The green river flows nearby, its dark surface a constant visual reference point. Your routine provides cover, a monotonous backdrop for your precise, focused observations. You learn their habits, their vulnerabilities, their moments of isolated transition. Now, the empty spaces along the highways offer potential, secluded areas for quiet operations. You feel the cool metal of the truck's steering wheel, a solid anchor for your hand. The city lights blur into streaks, a fleeting canvas you move through, observing always, patience is an asset, a tool you wield with calm precision, waiting for the opportune moment. You analyze risk factors, assessing the probability of detection, minimizing external variables. The internal desire for control intensifies, a silent pressure building, demanding a release. You select a specific target, her profile fitting the developed parameters exactly. Meticulously, the anticipation is a cold hum in your chest, a steady, low-frequency vibration. You envision the sequence of events, each step mapped out, a detailed mental blueprint. The feeling of power grows, a quiet certainty. Observing them without their knowing presence, this weekend, everything is ready. Fantasy is about to become precise, calculated reality. Level 5. The novice killer. The woman enters your truck, her silhouette a dark shape against the streetlights. You drive towards the secluded area. The engines hum a steady, rhythmic sound. Your heart rate is elevated, a physical sensation, not an emotional response now. The grip on her neck tightens, a specific resistance met by your deliberate force. You feel the soft fabric of her clothes, then skin, then the loss of all movement. The initial act is clumsy, less efficient than planned, a learning experience for you. The silence after is absolute, a heavy, still presence filling the small space. Your hands are still shaking, a physical tremor, nothing like the mental fantasy. You drag her body to the river, the rough ground scraping against her weight. The cold water meets her form, a silent release into the murky depths below. You wash your hands, the river current cleansing the physical residue of the act. The drive back is quiet, the landscape returning to its familiar, indifferent patterns. A sense of relief washes over you, a calm settling after the intense physiological exertion. You understand the profound difference between thought and action, the tangible outcome. The process has begun, a new path unfolding. Now, a new kind of silent purpose emerging. Level 6. The predator. You refine your methods, each subsequent act executed with greater efficiency, smoother precision. The targets remain consistent, their vulnerability a constant, easily identifiable attribute. You know the best disposal sites now, remote, heavily wooded areas, less chance of discovery. The bodies are placed carefully, covered by brush, return to the earth's natural cycles. You feel the mud beneath your boots, cold and soft, leaving temporary imprints only. The emotional detachment is complete. The acts are purely functional, a necessary execution of a plan. The cooling off period shortens, the internal pressure building quicker, demanding more frequent release. You become adept at identifying moments of opportunity, minimizing external variables always. The risk of detection feels low, a calculated assessment. Confidence growing with each successful operation. You observe the police activity from a distance, their methods clumsy, their movements predictable. Still, the media reports flicker, words on a screen, detached accounts of missing persons, vague fears. Your perception of yourself shifts from novice to an unseen force, a natural, efficient selector. The act itself is less about emotion, more about the quiet ritual, the established, precise process. You enjoy the sense of hidden superiority, moving through the world undetected, an invisible agent. You are not a novice anymore. You are a predator, and predators need to carefully hunt. Level 7. The collector. You return to the old dumping grounds, the landscape familiar, the air still and heavy. The bones are scattered now, picked clean by nature, integrated into the forest floor. You feel no remorse, only a clinical interest in the natural process of decomposition there. A morbid satisfaction settles within, observing the complete assimilation of your actions. You keep mental records, precise dates and locations, a personal archive of silent triumphs. The compulsion to revisit these sites is strong, a confirmation of your ultimate control now. You collect small, insignificant objects, sometimes a stone, a twig, a silent memento mori. The media frenzy intensifies, but your identity remains obscured. A ghost in the urban periphery. You analyze patterns of police investigation, their limited resources, their slow, methodical search. The thrill is not in the violence itself, but in the sustained control, the enduring anonymity. You understand the landscape intimately, its hidden trails, its quiet corners, its silent secrets, the feeling of ownership over these hidden places grows, a private kingdom you alone command. You consider these acts as necessary removals, cleansing the environment of specific elements now. Your hidden world expands, a vast network of silent markers, invisible to the general public. The collection is nearing completion, but there are always more pieces to carefully acquire. Level 8. The media phantom. The headlines scream your name, Green River Killer. A public label for your private actions. You read every article, observing the speculation, the misinterpretations, the desperate theories. A sense of detached amusement arises, watching their clumsy attempts to understand your methods. You feel the weight of their fear, an invisible pressure radiating through the local community. The media becomes another tool, a means of extending your influence, your unseen presence. Always, you leave subtle clues, sometimes not to be caught, but to observe their limited interpretive abilities. Your operational security strengthens, adjusting to increased police presence, altering your patterns now. The cooling off period is getting shorter, the internal compulsion intensifying. It is in control of you. You navigate the heightened awareness, a careful dance between visibility and complete disappearance. The investigators are frustrated, their leads going cold, their efforts proving largely ineffective. You enjoy the game, the intricate chess match played across the sprawling suburban landscape now. The idea of being caught becomes a distant, almost irrelevant concept to your operational efficiency. You consider taunting them directly, a fleeting thought, then dismiss it, maintaining distance. Still, the public sphere is a tangible entity, a low hum of collective anxiety you quietly absorb. One small mistake will ruin the big plans you have ahead, requiring constant vigilance now. Level 9. The cross-country killer. Your truck travels vast distances, a mobile operational base, crossing state lines. Sometimes the geography expands, new dumping grounds, new anonymous roads, a larger canvas for you. You blend into the transient population, a truck driver among many, an unseen face in motion. The techniques adapt to new environments, riverbeds, dense forests, abandoned industrial zones. Now, you feel the endless highway beneath you, a ribbon of asphalt connecting various operational zones. The victims vary slightly in location, but their core vulnerability remains consistent, easily identified. You manage multiple identities sometimes, a subtle shift in persona, a different name used briefly. The long stretches of silence on the road provide mental clarity, uninterrupted planning opportunities. You observe the diverse landscapes, each offering unique challenges and opportunities for concealment. Now, the sheer scale of your operations provides psychological insulation, a feeling of impenetrable security. You know the exact distances between various sites, calculating travel times, fuel consumption, precise movements. The feeling of absolute freedom intensifies, unconstrained by local boundaries. Moving through the shadows, you consider the national implications of your actions, a silent, pervasive presence across the map. The thought of being linked across states is a distant concern, the separation too vast for them now. But a new technology is emerging, a small scientific detail you have not yet accounted for in your plans. Level 10. The untouchable. You sit in the interrogation room, the fluorescent lights humming, a sterile, cold environment. The evidence they present is precise, linking you through unseen markers, microscopic biological data. You feel a strange detachment, observing the process, the inevitable conclusion of their pursuit. The feeling of being untouchable was an illusion, a temporary state, now systematically dismantled. You recount the events calmly, providing details, the physical sensations, the precise logistical steps. The thrill of the chase faded long ago, replaced by a quiet, methodical operational efficiency. You observe their reactions, the quiet shock, the attempts to comprehend your systematic processes fully. The concrete walls feel heavy, a physical boundary, a new kind of environment to simply exist within. You reflect on the years of undetected operation, the vastness of your unacknowledged personal domain. The satisfaction now comes from the absolute truth, the full disclosure, the complete, final understanding. You feel the weight of countless lives, a silent, abstract number, not an emotional connection for you. The cooling off period is over, permanently replaced by the dull monotony of structured confinement. You are God. You are everything you ever wanted to be. In this enclosed, controlled, silent world, the outside world continues a distant hum, unaware of the profound quiet you now inhabit daily. But there is a problem. The thrill is fading, leaving only the cold reality of endless stillness.
You just watched someone lose everything they were. But there's a subject whose story starts even darker. No childhood, no normal, just the pattern. Watch what that looks like.